What's going on, guys? We're up here at Mount Wilson Observatory overlooking Los Angeles. We rode the bike up here, wanted to catch the sunset, figured I'd review an album that I've been listening to a lot lately. I say that like it's been out a while. It came out Friday, but I have been listening to it a lot. This is Fen's Monuments to Absence. This is Fen's 7th full-length record. They've been a band for something like 17 years. So they are not new to this, and they have a really refined, polished sound that they have sort of honed over the course of their career. As many reviewers have been pointing out, this is Fen's most black metal record to date. If you're not familiar with Fen, think sort of Winter Philith meets Pink Floyd, or England's answer to Agalloch. It's definitely black metal, firmly planted in atmospheric black metal, but it's got a lot of experimental sonic qualities. There's a lot of sort of post-rock stuff, some doomier sections, a lot of singing, a lot of folk instrumentation that gets mixed into the atmospheric black metal palette. And they do this to great effect. They are phenomenal musicians. Everyone in the band is just, I think it's a three-piece. Everybody in the band is just a killer player. They are really on top of their instruments. And I know with this record, they really wanted to definitely make it their most extreme album to date. I think they did that very intentionally, while still maintaining the sonic qualities that kind of set them apart from the rest of the atmospheric black metal genre. Because they do delve into a lot of the same stuff that Agalloch does, post-rock, doom, folk. They really are, I think, England's answer to Agalloch. And I love Agalloch, and I'm really thankful that I just got into this band late last year. I listened to their previous album, The Dead Light, something like 4 or 5 times last year. And I distinctly remember trudging through the snow on a hike one day, listening to this album, and it just clicked. Okay, so as far as the album itself goes, the shortest track on this entire record is 6.5 minutes. And there are 8 tracks on the album. So it is not a short record. It is, I think, something like 67 minutes long. If you are new to these videos, I tend to complain about albums that kind of overstay their welcome. A lot of records, I feel, would have benefited by shaving 15 or 20 minutes off the runtime. This record is an exception, and I'm very happy to be able to say that. Maybe on paper, 67 minutes just sounds too long. But when I actually sit down and listen to the record, not only does it not really, there's no obvious place where they could have shaved off time, in my opinion. But the sequencing on the album is so good that my interest hasn't wavered at all. This, like I said, this came out Friday. I've already listened to it 3 times. I've sat down and really intentionally listened to it and typed out my thoughts while I was listening. And while doing that, I'm paying very close attention to what they're doing. And at no point was my interest flagging. Was I sort of thinking about something else or just, kind of glancing around, wondering when this particular passage was going to end. There's nothing like that, because they are really amazing musicians who also think very deeply about the compositions that they're making and the order that they go on the album. So I'm really happy to say that it's 67 minutes long, but that doesn't actually bother me for once. That's a huge plus for this record, because that's a lot of material to engage with. And it's also very dense, very layered. So every time you come back to it, there's going to be new stuff you discover. That has certainly been the case for me. As I mentioned earlier, this is definitely their most black metal record to date. They've always been a black metal band, but I think they really ramped it up on this one. There's a lot of anger. It just feels like a very angry record. And I think part of that ties into the thematic concept behind the record. I don't know to what extent it's a concept record, but there's certainly a sort of unifying theme of environmental degradation and just sort of resource overconsumption, and just the way that we as a species treat the planet and other living things on the planet. Monuments to Absence is actually the name of a book about the protocol for the assimilation and basically extermination of the Cherokees in the southeastern United States. I don't know actually if the title is a coincidence or if they actually borrowed it from that book, but it feels conceptually related in a way, because indigenous people tend to live closer to the environment. Certainly in this country, and I think really all around the world, when sort of more technologically advanced cultures move in and displace those indigenous populations, they're also sort of changing the entire relationship that people have to the natural world around them. And this is just a really long way of saying I really do hear that. I hear the angst and the sort of despair on this record that I think kind of inevitably comes when you consider what we are doing to the planet as a species. And I'm not really speculating too much here because I've listened to a couple interviews with the vocalist and guitarist of this band, and he has explicitly stated that's what this record is about. So if that sounds like your bag, I highly recommend that you check this record out. I am really, really enjoying this record. I'm coming back to it over and over again. It's just got a lot to offer. We are going to hop back on the bike and try to get home before the sun sets completely. Really hope you guys enjoy this record if you check it out. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good one.